Book summary by Teddy Bear's Storytime.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The Third Will is the seventh book in the hugely popular Diary of a Wimpy Kid series by Jeff Kinney, published on 2012. By this time, the series had become a staple in children's literature, with millions of copies sold worldwide and several adaptations, including films and merchandise. The series, known for its relatable humor and the everyman protagonist Greg Heffley, continued to explore the trials and tribulations of middle school life. In The Third Will, Kinney delves into the world of school dances, friendships, and the awkwardness of adolescence. The book's title, The Third Will, refers to Greg's experience of being an unintentional third wheel at a school dance. The story revolves around Greg's attempts to secure a date for the Valentine's Day dance, a task that proves to be more challenging and humiliating than he anticipated. Kinney uses his trademark humor to highlight the awkwardness of young love and the social dynamics of middle school, making the book both entertaining and relatable to its audience. The Third Will continues the series' tradition of blending humor with genuine insights into the struggles of growing up, cementing its place as a beloved installment in the series. Characters: Greg Heffley, the protagonist, navigating the complex social world of middle school, particularly the challenges of finding a date for the school dance. Rollie Jefferson, Greg's loyal best friend, who becomes unintentionally involved in Greg's plan to secure a date. Susan Heffley, Greg's well-meaning but often overbearing mother, who tries to give Greg advice about relationships. Frank Heffley, Greg's father, who is more focused on his own hobbies but occasionally offers Greg advice. Manny Heffley, Greg's younger brother, whose antics often add to Greg's stress. Roderick Heffley, Greg's older brother, who teases Greg about his lack of success with girls. Abigail Brown, the girl Greg eventually asks to the dance, who becomes a central figure in the story's climax. Uncle Gary, Greg's freeloading uncle who temporarily stays with the Heffleys, adding another layer of stress to Greg's life. Book summary. Early memories. The book begins with Greg reflecting on his earliest memories, including his time in the womb. This humorous introspection sets the tone for the book, as Greg looks back on his life experiences and how they have shaped his personality. He talks about his early childhood, including his experiences with various learning toys that his mother gave him in an attempt to make him smarter. However, Greg feels that these toys did more harm than good, making him paranoid and overly cautious. This chapter establishes Greg's self-awareness and his tendency to overthink things, which will be a recurring theme throughout the book. School election. As Greg shifts his focus to the present, he discusses his experiences with school elections, where he unsuccessfully runs for student council. This subplot serves to highlight Greg's lack of popularity at school and his growing sense of inadequacy. He discusses the competitive nature of the elections and his frustration with the superficial reasons people vote for candidates. Greg's cynical view of the election process reflects his broader skepticism about school and social structures. This chapter also introduces the idea of status and popularity, which will play a significant role in the story. Uncle Gary moves in. The arrival of Uncle Gary, Greg's freeloading uncle, marks a turning point in the book. Uncle Gary's presence adds chaos to the Heffley household, as he takes over Greg's room and disrupts the family's routines. Greg resents Uncle Gary, particularly because he sees him as a bad influence and a source of stress. Uncle Gary's antics, including his tendency to mooch off the family and his questionable life choices, are a source of both humor and frustration for Greg. This chapter explores the theme of family dynamics and the tension that arises when an unwelcome guest disrupts the household. The dance announcement. The story's main conflict begins when the school announces the upcoming Valentine's Day dance. Greg becomes obsessed with finding a date, seeing the dance as an opportunity to improve his social standing. He views the dance as a chance to reinvent himself and gain popularity, but he quickly realizes that finding a date is not as easy as he thought. Greg's desperation and awkwardness are on full display as he contemplates various strategies for asking a girl to the dance. This chapter sets up the central conflict of the story and highlights the pressures of social expectations. Failed attempts. Greg's attempts to secure a date for the dance are met with a series of humiliating failures. He tries different tactics, from dropping hints to asking girls directly, but each attempt ends in rejection. Greg's insecurity and fear of rejection are palpable as he becomes increasingly desperate. This chapter is filled with humor as Greg recounts his awkward interactions and the various mishaps that befall him. The theme of unrequited love and the fear of rejection is explored in depth, with Greg's experiences serving as a relatable portrayal of the challenges of adolescence. Last resort. As the dance draws nearer, Greg resorts to desperate measures. He decides to ask Rolly to go to the dance with him as part of a plan to increase his chances of securing a date. Greg's reasoning is that if he goes with Rolly, they can work together to find dates at the dance. However, this plan backfires when Rolly ends up securing a date with Abigail Brown, a girl Greg had been interested in. Greg finds himself as the third wheel in Rolly and Abigail's budding relationship, leading to feelings of jealousy and resentment. This chapter explores the complexities of friendship and the strain that romantic interests can place on relationships. The dance. The climax of the book occurs at the Valentine's Day dance. Greg's experience at the dance is a mix of excitement and humiliation as he navigates the social dynamics of the event. He is acutely aware of his status as a third wheel and struggles to fit in with the couples around him. Greg's feelings of isolation and inadequacy are heightened as he watches Rolly and Abigail dance together, realizing that he is truly on his own. The dance serves as a microcosm of Greg's broader social struggles, encapsulating the themes of rejection, loneliness, and the desire for acceptance. Aftermath. In the aftermath of the dance, Greg reflects on his experience and the lessons he has learned. Although he feels humiliated and disappointed by how things turned out, he also gains a deeper understanding of the complexities of relationships and the challenges of growing up. Greg comes to terms with the fact that not everything in life goes as planned, and that sometimes, the best thing to do is to accept reality and move on. The book ends on a somewhat bittersweet note, with Greg finding some solace in the knowledge that he will have other opportunities in the future. Themes. Social status and popularity. A central theme in the third wheel is Greg's obsession with improving his social status through the Valentine's Day dance. The book explores the pressures of popularity and the lengths to which Greg is willing to go to be seen as cool. Friendship and jealousy. The dynamic between Greg and Rolly is put to the test in this book, as Rolly's success in finding a date for the dance leads to feelings of jealousy and resentment in Greg. The book examines how romantic interests can complicate friendships. The awkwardness of adolescence. Greg's experiences at the dance and his failed attempts to secure a date highlight the awkwardness and insecurities that come with adolescence. The book captures the universal experience of feeling out of place and unsure of oneself during the teenage years. Family dynamics. The presence of Uncle Gary adds a layer of complexity to the Heffley family dynamic, highlighting themes of responsibility, freeloading, and the impact of extended family on household harmony. Analysis. Character development. Greg Heffley's character continues to be defined by his insecurity and desperation to fit in. His experiences in the third will further develop his awareness of social dynamics and the complexities of relationships. Rolly Jefferson's character is shown to be more independent in this book, as he successfully navigates the social landscape and secures a date for the dance, creating tension between him and Greg. Uncle Gary serves as a foil to Greg's father, highlighting different approaches to responsibility and family life. His presence in the Heffley household adds both humor and stress, influencing Greg's perception of adult responsibilities. Plot structure. The plot is driven by Greg's quest to find a date for the Valentine's Day dance, with each chapter building on his growing sense of desperation and insecurity. The climax at the dance serves as a culmination of these tensions. The subplot involving Uncle Gary provides additional layers to the story, adding both comic relief and a contrasting perspective on responsibility and adulthood. Setting and atmosphere. The setting of middle school and the Valentine's Day dance creates a relatable backdrop for the exploration of social dynamics and adolescent anxieties. The school environment is depicted as a microcosm of broader societal pressures. The atmosphere of the book is a blend of humor and tension, with Greg's narration providing a humorous lens through which to view the often painful experiences of adolescence. Symbolism. The Valentine's Day dance symbolizes the social pressures and expectations placed on young people, particularly in terms of relationships and popularity. Uncle Gary's character serves as a symbol of irresponsibility and the consequences of poor life choices, contrasting with Greg's father's more traditional approach to adulthood. Conclusion. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Third Wheel is a poignant and humorous exploration of the complexities of adolescence, particularly the challenges of navigating friendships, social status, and romantic interests. Jeff Kinney's ability to capture the awkwardness and insecurities of middle school life makes this book a relatable and entertaining read for both young readers and adults. The book's focus on the Valentine's Day dance, a common rite of passage in many schools, provides a familiar setting for the exploration of universal themes such as rejection, loneliness, and the desire for acceptance. Through Greg's experiences, readers are reminded of the importance of resilience and the value of learning from life's disappointments. While The Third Wheel is filled with humor, it also offers valuable insights into the emotional complexities of growing up, making it a meaningful addition to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. The end. Love the book summary. Subscribe Teddy Bear's Storytime YouTube channel now. Like the video. Turn on the notifications. And leave your comments. See you in next book.